Real estate team versus solo agent. So that's a big question for a lot of agents. And I've got some ideas that are going to help you sort through this and make the right decision for you. So let's explore the pros, the cons, and the trade-offs, because of course there's trade-offs, and what's good for one person isn't good for everyone, and it's all dependent on your goals. But let's get into all of it, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end as far as what I would do if I was starting over in business all over again. Okay, so if you're at this point mentally, right, where you're deciding, should I join a real estate team or should I be a solo agent? It typically has to do with the source of your business, okay? Now, the primary advantage to joining a real estate team, and of course, not all teams are created equal and not all teams are going to take this approach, but the primary advantage to joining a team is that it's going to give you leads, right? You're joining the team so that you get leads. They're paying either for a lead source or the lead agent has an overflow of people, and it's an opportunity for you to quickly get business and to quickly build your book of business. And so that is a huge advantage for several reasons. Number one, it gives you a chance to immediately get busy and make money and be profitable. So in my mind, it really doesn't even matter what the split is. If I was starting all over, I would choose what's going to give me the most number of clients as quickly as possible. Now, not just most number, but the most number of ideal clients, right? You've got to pick what are the ideal client types for you, and that is a decision that should be made intelligently, and I've got a lot of thoughts on that. So stay tuned, pay attention to the channel, and I'll give you some thoughts on what an ideal client might look like for you in your market. But the more leads you can get, the better, right? And they're leads that you generally don't have to pay for, you don't have to find, you don't have to track down. There's very little investment of either money or time. You can just immediately start working with people, and you get the advantage of having expert help, right? That team leader is going to help you close those deals, going to help you get those clients, going to help you with great materials to work together, and you can leverage the success of the team so that you don't have to, have the 10 years of experience. You get to borrow the 10 years of experience, right? You can use the royal we, and you can say, we sold this property and we sold that property, and look at this property that we sold, right? And you can claim the competency of a $10 million listing, right? Because you're on a team, right? It's shared experience. And if your team leader, if they're willing to share their expertise with you and help you, you're not stretching the truth at all to say, we did this and we did that, and we are going to do this and we are going to do that for you in the future, right? You get access immediately to leads, access immediately to experience, and that's going to just leverage your time so much faster than trying to fail your way forward on your own. So starting over, I would do all of that as quickly as possible to the most extent that I could, right? I would get as many clients of the right type as quickly as I possibly could and get the best possible model to help me through those things so that I could just learn and learn and learn. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point where your personal bandwidth starts to be maxed out, right? And now you've got a base of clients that know you. You've had an opportunity to pick up more and more clients, and you start to say, okay, well, now I'm giving up a large percentage of my commission split to get other clients, right? And now you start to have to do the math and say, okay, is it worth giving up the commission split for the lead source? And at some point, your ability to get your own leads offsets the number of clients that you have. And as people are finding you, or your own ad spend, your own spending on advertising is going to bring you clients, your own lead generation methods bring you more clients, and you need your team leader less, that begins to create the trade-off, and you say, okay, well, maybe I don't need this team infrastructure anymore. And then that becomes the point where you say, okay, now I'm going to be a solo agent, right? Where I'm going to have all of these things. I'm going to have all these clients, do the deals myself, and then handle everything, right? But then what's going to happen, right? The next phase of that, and you can stay there forever, right? You can have a very profitable career as a solo real estate agent. In fact, the research shows that it is probably the most likely model to be profitable out of all of them is to be a career solo agent. But then the next level of that is when you start to say, wow, I have too many leads and I'm starting to get too busy and I'm struggling to keep up with it all. Now I need to backfill and build a team of my own. And I need to leverage my time by bringing on other agents and divvying out some of these clients so that you can be more selective with the clients that you choose to work, right? So maybe at a certain price point, you start to hand off those clients to a buyer's agent, right? And then you say, okay, I'm only working with $500,000 and above. Everybody else, I'm going to funnel that off to agents on my team. Or maybe you start to shift your time more towards being a listing agent and you can focus more on helping your listings succeed, and you've got other people to work with. You've got other agents that can help you leverage your time with buyers or people at a different price point. Or you say, you know what, I'm really good now at this lead generation side of it. Let me spend more time doing that and let me hand off more of my leads to agents now on my team. And you start building a team on your own. It's kind of the circle of life. Okay. Now, the thing to keep in mind in the real estate industry is if that's the cycle that you're going to go through, that's likely the cycle that other people are going to go through on their life cycle, right? Sometimes people can do that in a year, 2, 3. In fact, a broker that I had years ago told me that you should only, when I was building my first team, told me you should only expect agents to stay on your team for an average of 3 years. And then in a sense, you're almost training your competition, right? So that's why since then, I've always looked for ways to be really collaborative and to create a long-term career path. And I've looked for brokerages that allowed me to tie together my long-term success with other agents. And I think that it makes a lot of sense so that every time you invest time and money with people, that there's a benefit to them and to you for the long term. So I love seeing agents succeed. In fact, it's one of the most rewarding things, as someone that fights for every hard-earned lesson, to be able to give it away and see agents succeed with it is one of the most powerful things. So if you've enjoyed this, we've got a lot more team-specific training, right? So, how to help you become a solo agent and how to become a team leader with time. It takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of technology, right? You want to have a competitive offering when you start building a team of your own. Or if you're a team leader and you want to start building out an ecosystem of your own and trying to figure out what are the things that you need to have in place to build that team, it's going to make a lot of sense for you to follow along and learn what we're going to be teaching on the channel. So thanks so much. And we'll see you next time.